Greetings, good afternoon, and happy Good Friday. Yes, sort of an odd term, Good Friday, considering what happened on that Friday. Kind of like the Great Depression. What makes a depression great? Or even jumbo shrimp. But Good Friday to you. And it's a great weekend for all of us, a time to celebrate who we are, what we believe, our faith. And of course, today is a day of contemplation. Tomorrow, I won't go into that right here, right now. I did it on the last radio program. We've all heard the Good Friday sermons. We've all heard the Resurrection Sunday sermons, but you probably never heard the Saturday sermon. In fact, nobody ever mentions what went on that Saturday that hung between the Friday and the Sunday. If you go back to Thursday or Wednesday's radio program during the Good Word for the Day portion of the show, you'll hear it. I talk about that Saturday. Okay, what I want to do is I want to do a real quick recap of what happened in the markets Thursday with our Concierge trade alerts. I did do a recap during the live radio broadcast, but it's a little strung out and drug out, and I want to see if I can actually just kind of breeze through a recap, keep it in a reasonable amount of time. I've been trying to do that for years. Who knows? Maybe it'll happen today. Here's how you reach us if you need us, 949-42-EMINI. If you want a mentoring session, whether you're a partner, whether you're on a trial, or whether you're just kicking tires, go to this address. Our public access library, which has over 1,000 hours of video, radio shows, webinars, seminars, Q&A sessions, you name it. If it's got to do with E-minis, you'll find it in our public library, emini.cfrn.net. Want to take a free trial? Spend 5 business days, consecutive business days, so you can start on the Tuesday or Thursday. It doesn't matter. You'll get 5 days. Watch us trade real money in real time in front of real people like you. You get to ask all the questions you want to ask. You also get to use our indicators for the full week that you're on the trial. So as opposed to just watching myself or Michael trade and at the end of the week say, wow, that's pretty good. That guy's a pretty good trader. Well, okay, but what about you? I mean, the trial is about you. It's not about us. So we encourage you to download a demo platform if you don't have one. If you have NinjaTrader already, then our indicators will work on NinjaTrader. The platform I'm using is from Daniel's Trading. It's called DT Pro. It's a white label platform, and what that means is if you have a broker who clears through Gain Capital, then they have a white label platform, very similar to this one, that our indicators will work on as well. If you don't have a platform, no worries. We'll set you up with one. No credit card, no obligation. All you got to do is show up. Okay? So now that that's out of the way, let's take a look at what happened first to our trade of the week. Last Sunday night, we had issued a short trade shortly after the Globex open. And that was right back here. Okay, we opened into a weekly trading zone, and we said to sell 34.75, and that worked out well a couple times. Important prices, important areas are almost always tested, and so we had a couple points and a couple more points, and As you know, if you're trading the 2420 blueprint with us, your daily goal, if you're an S&P trader, it's just 2 points a day. We'll teach you to take 2 points a day out of the S&P, and the purpose of the 2420 blueprint is to get you from 1 to 20 contracts in a period of 24 months. You won't get there any sooner, but you might get there a little later if you have to hit the pause button. Maybe you go on vacation, maybe life happens, maybe somebody takes ill, and so you have to put things on hold. That's okay. We'll be there when you come back. Now, these weekly trading zones, price, since we began publishing the zones in 2009, has been doing a unique thing. Price travels from zone to zone to zone to zone. Sometimes price gets rejected by the zone. See, it looks like it ran up and touched it and like a hot stove and just pulled its hand back real quick. That's the second most likely thing to happen. The most likely thing to happen is what we call consolidation. When price hits a zone, some people call it coiling. In other words, it's kind of building up pressure, building up a head of steam. What it's really doing, it's making up its mind if it's going to move up to the zone overhead or if it's going to move down to the zone below. Weekly trading zones are an area, just like Fibonacci is a number. When you get a 38, a 50, or a 62% retracement, sometimes it'll be to the tick, other times it will be an area. So, keeping that in mind, this zone goes from 37 up to 43. So that's 6 S&P points. So from zone to zone, that's 6 points. Back down to the zone, 12 points. We came a little bit shy because it is what? It's an area. So we don't quite get 6. This one makes it up to 41 and a half. We were trying for 43, so we missed it by a point and a half. So instead of this being a 6-point move, it's a 4.5-point move. Now, we also have some that overshoot. So if we just counted each move as 6 points on average, that would probably be pretty fair, I'm thinking. I like to err on the side of being conservative because, well, I am a conservative. If you've listened to the radio show, you know I lean way to the right, you know. Try to stay balanced, but it's hard this day and time. So from the zone at 37 to the zone at 43, we're going to call that 6 points, even though this one clearly went a little over 7. We'll just call it 6. So 6, 12, 18, 24, 32, 38. So that's 38 S&P points going from zone to zone to zone to zone to zone to zone to zone. Did I get that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 6 is 36. Now that's 36 S&P 500 Emini points during a time span of, let's see, 5 a.m. on Monday until 3:30 a.m. Tuesday. Now, I should point out that the weekly trading zones are published or emailed to the partners at 6:15 Eastern on Monday, every Monday. So we can't, I mean, this one happened, but partners did not have the email yet. So we have to actually wait until, okay, that happened at 9:30. The move down happened at 5:30. So this one up and this one down, kind of got to push those aside. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 6 times 4. It's 24 points. Now, if our daily goal is 2 points a day in the S&P, on a 5-day week, that's 10 points. But pushing those two aside, we still have 24, and it happens in a time span from 9:30 a.m. Monday morning is when it began until 3:30 a.m. Tuesday morning. So about 18 hours roughly. What a great way to start the week. Now, the zone-to-zone moves, some of our partners simply trade those. Others trade the Concierge trade alerts, and others use the method that we use in the live trading room, which is by far the simplest method for trading that I think you'll ever find. I really do. We built it that way to make it simple. And so we've already counted this move down, but then we have another zone-to-zone move. We go from 36 down to 28. So that's an 8-point move, but we don't quite get all the way there. We get down to a low of 28.80. That's not right, is it? The low was 2028.8. And then the swing high here, we overshoot the zone. We get up to 2040.3. ESM6. ESM6. Just want to make sure I'm on the right chart. I am. Okay. All right. Let's just move on. On this move down from you see what I'm wrestling with. Typically, this is measured in quarter points. There's 4 ticks to a point. These readings that I'm getting, like this candle here, okay, that's a low of 2040. That's acceptable. A high of 2043.3. That's not something. Something's not. I know they're doing work on the servers this weekend. But we're not going to let that get in our way here. We can get our job done. All right. That's if I keep going and quit dragging my heels. This zone from 38, 36 down to 28. That's 8. So 8 and then 8 back up, 16. We came quite a bit short here, but you get the idea. Okay, that's all I wanted. 6 points up, and then we do some sideways and then 6 down. So you can see how some of the traders are able to take advantage of just these. Again, here we get a swing low, 2037.80. So down to the zone, back up to the zone, down to the zone, down to the zone, missing it by a couple ticks. Back up to the zone, back down to the zone. We've been publishing the zones since December 14th of 2009. And the amazing thing is they've behaved exactly the same since we began publishing them, since I discovered the formula that I use, the methodology that we use to trade them with. I mean, see, it's hard to remember sometimes that it's an area, right? Because you can see here we miss it by a tick or two, and here we go right to the tick. And then look at this consolidation. Each one of these candles is 30 minutes. I think it's 30 minutes. Yep, it's 30 minutes. Okay, so the trade that we sent out last Sunday night on the Globex Open said to sell 2024 to use a 3-point stop. So the stop loss was 2027. And on the blog and in the email I sent out, I said, now, partners, you will understand this trade by the zone-to-zone nature of it. Zone to zone. Our first target was here at 2021. Our second target was here at 2017. Our final target was at 2010. The swing low was 2012 and a quarter. Okay, so we failed to reach our target by 2.25 points. Now, if you were running the indicator set, as I teach you to do when we're in group training and also when we're in one-on-one mentoring, you'll trail your stop behind the BBC, but down here when the step line gets above the MA1 and this green candle closes above the step line, that's your invitation, that's your instruction to get out. Okay, that candle closed at 2014, call it, let me look to the left, closed at 2017, closed 2017, yeah. So your exit would have been 2017 if you were trailing your stop and using the indicators to do so, okay? Now, I wrote on Wednesday night that my concern was this: if in fact we did not hit the target of 2010 early on in the evening, that what would most likely happen is that we would have a holiday rally. Historically, we rally in the holidays. Why? I guess everybody's in a good mood. I don't know. Do we always rally into a holiday? There are very few always and absolutes in the world of trading. So, did we get a holiday rally? Yeah. Now, we had a leg and a retrace and a leg and a retrace and a leg, and we've got a real nice retracement on our hands right here. If we go from the swing high here to the swing low here, we'll see that price closed just above the 50% retracement on Thursday. There was no Globex session last night. We won't have Globex. That markets reopen Sunday night, regular time. And so what will happen when the markets open, we'll be watching to see if this rally continues or if it falters. If it falters, we'll get below this 50% retracement. We'll get below this weekly trading zone. And guess what? Important prices, important areas are almost always tested. So the potential for us to have a great opportunity to sell this at the same spot, 2024, is very, very good. So stay tuned Sunday night. I will be posting live commentary right here at emini.cfrn.net, and most likely I will have another free trade for you Sunday night. If you have not signed up for the free trades, go to cfrn.net/. free-emini-trades. CFRN.net/free-emini-trades. Just put a hyphen between free and emini and trades, okay? If you get lost, call me or email me, support@cfrn.net. So that's what happened with the trade of the week, okay? The one we were waiting for all week. Now, see, if we had gotten here earlier in the week, there hadn't been so much buying pressure present, this would have been a pretty good jumping off point for some significantly lower prices. Our lowest weekly trading zone for last week was all the way down at 1968/69. Okay. Those numbers are still very much a possibility and a reality on Sunday night. But we don't operate in the prophetic. We're going to trade Sunday night based upon what the market tells us to do. Not what we think it should do or hope it will do, but we will evaluate it, we'll read the chart, we'll take the temperature, and we'll issue a trade. So make sure you get signed up and get your free trade on Sunday night. This was worth the wait from 2024 down to wherever you would have ended up taking your profit. It's a good trade, okay? So that builds for you. All right, I said we were going to do this quick. Let's just see how quickly we can do it. We're going to switch over to the Dow. And, oh, you know what we didn't do? We set all that to not give you the actual trade for Friday or Thursday. There was no Friday trading today. Thursday was the last day. So Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, I sent out the alert on the S&P to be a buyer at 31.25 and a seller at 23.75. Okay, got that? Gonna buy 31.25, sell 23.75. So where's 20.31.25? Well, it's up here. We didn't get there, so there was no buying to be done. Only the selling, which took place at 2023.75, and 2023.75 is right in here. $20.23. It's just below, obviously, the 2024. So whether you were taking advantage of the free trade or you were just trading the Concierge trade alert, you had the same opportunity, is what that amounts to. Okay? All right. So final trading day of the week was a great day for the S&P. Now we'll move to the Dow. Okay? And look where we closed, right at a weekly trading zone. Is it the highest weekly zone for the week? I don't think so. 17,460, no. It was not the highest weekly zone. And was there a zone below that? 17,375. The next zone below that was significantly further down. We had said in our email Wednesday night on the Dow to sell 17,375. If you sold 17,375, the very first drop right here went 16 points. Okay? There was a total of 75 points available. Now the buy side on the Dow was 17,440, okay? And so 17,440, you'll find that right here, okay? 17,440. Close enough for government work. 17,440. How many points do you need? If you're trading the 2420 blueprint, your goal is to make $100 per contract per day. The Dow, unlike the S&P, which pays $50 per point, the Dow only pays $5 a point. However, when you're driving home from work and the guy on the radio says, and the S&P was up 200 points today, you can bet your bottom dollar that the S&P was up 20. There's a 10-to-1 ratio there. Why? I don't know. Always has been, as far back as I can see, and I suspect it always will be. It's just the nature of how those two markets correlate and play off one another. All right? And so we had a swing high here that was right in the middle of this zone, 17,460 to 465. And so if you're long at 17,440 at 460, there's your 20 points done for the day. Unless you were done for the day over here. Now, this first candle that broke through, that in it of itself gave up 16 points, okay? If you have carryover points in the kitty, each day your goal is $100 per contract per day. Let's say you're trading the Russell and it requires 10 ticks a day. Okay, on Monday you get stopped out with 3 ticks, then you get stopped out with 4 ticks, and then you hit your target 10 ticks. Awesome. You ring your bell. Now, your goal when you got out of bed was to go get your 10 ticks or your 1 point from the Russell to make your $100 per contract per day. It's $100 per contract per day, whether you're at the 1 contract level or if you've earned your way up to the 5 contract level, the 10 contract level, wherever you're at, you're thinking $100 because everybody deserves to make $100 a day. And if you keep it that simple, then you won't mess with your head and start falling into traps like self-sabotage. It happens. So this is why I'm warning you about it. Were it not true, I would have told you so, okay? That's the deal. Now, let's say you take 16 points, but we don't get out at the exact swing low or swing high because we trail our stops. So, I don't know, let's say you got out with 14 points. But yesterday you're trading the Russell. You got 170% of your daily goal. You got stopped out with 3 ticks. You got stopped out with 4 ticks. Then you hit your 10-tick target. That's 17 ticks. That's 170% of your daily goal. Okay? Those 70 points, or those 7 ticks, that's 70%, rolls forward, and it keeps rolling forward until you need it. And so, in a situation like this, where maybe you get stomped out and we'll say you're 5 points shy, okay? Can you borrow from the excess of yesterday to make today whole so that you don't have to expose yourself to the market again tomorrow or again today? You take one trade, you get 75% of your daily goal. You have excess from yesterday or previous days. Yes, that's exactly why we keep track. We even have an app for that. It's called the Daily Performance Tracker. It was built by one of our partners, Dan S. And Dan, thank you. And Dan called me. I haven't heard from him in a while. He did a great job. The Daily Performance Tracker tracks your carryover trades, your carryover percentages. It draws a little chart and profiles where you are based upon the 24/20 blueprint model. Are you ahead of the curve? See, the blueprint assumes that you're a mediocre trader like me. It assumes it's going to take you 10 trades every day to make your $100 per contract. Well, the truth is, there may be days that it takes you 10 trades, but there will also be days where it takes 1 trade, and there will be days where it takes 5 trades. So you end up with a lot of rollover trades, so you always have plenty of ammunition, and those percentages that carry over. If you don't, you see, let's say you got stopped out on this one with 15 points. We'll just call it 15. If you put on another trade, we risk 8 ticks on every trade in the live trading room. On the Concierge trade alerts, we use the amount of risk that the setup calls for. And that's something that we teach you in the mentoring program, how to determine where the market is telling you to put your stop, okay? But if you're in the live trading room, if you're trading that style, all you're looking to do is reach your daily goal so that you can build your account size so that you can become that 20 contract trader. You're going to only risk 8 ticks. Now, you've made 15. If you put on another trade and get stopped out, that's 8 ticks. Man, maybe you don't put on another trade. But I thought I had to make $100 every day per contract for this whole thing to work. Well, you do. But if you have excess, if you have carryover percentages, you just use you already, it's your money. You already made it. You can deploy it however you see fit. Now, I plan to get 2 caps because I'm always talking about in the trading business, you have 2 hats. You have your trading hat and your business manager hat. And there are times when you'll take off the trading cap, put on the business manager cap, and say, you know what? Rather than expose myself to another trade and potentially, have to take another trade because I get stopped out. You can't do this every day. Obviously, there are going to be days when you just have to work and you just have to put on as many trades as it takes to get your points and be done. That's how you get rollover points that you can use and draw down on or draw from. All right? I've completely over-explained this. If you don't get it by now, call me and I'll confuse you even more. Deal? Deal. All right. Next on the list, Russell. Yes, it's true. The rumors you've heard. The day they killed the Russell used to be called the ER2. It has always been the crack of Emini Futures trading. It moves fast. It packs a punch. It pays $100 per contract, $100 per point. S&P, the granddaddy, the big boy, the bellwether, it pays $50 a point. The Russell pays $100 a point, okay? Now, we had said Wednesday night, sell 1069, okay? This thing dropped 9.5 points. At $100 a point, that's $950 per contract available. Now, important prices, important areas are almost always tested, and so on the second drop here, 38 ticks or $380, and on this drop, 29 ticks or $290 per contract. So this move, just this move here, okay? If you've graduated to the 10 contract level, that's $2,900. Trading is risky. It's not suitable for all people. You can lose all of your money and then some. Trading is not suitable for all people. Some people don't have patience, the personality. It's just not a good fit. And that's okay, because God has some other purpose for you. Find it, whatever it is. The buy side of the Russell was 1076. Now, we barely got there. We didn't quite get there. The swing high was 75.8. That's where the market closed. So we never triggered on the long side, but we had plenty of opportunity on the downside. Okay? Okay. After the Russell, crude oil, GCLK6. Now, this is an eye-opener. This is a beauty. I already got it marked up somewhere. Here it is right there. Crude oil. We said sell 39.40. Okay. If you sold 39.40, this first little drop here took you down to 39.17. So that's 23 ticks. Crude pays $10 a tick, just like the Russell and just like gold. So you need 10 ticks to be done for the day. This candle here took you down to 39.25. So that one candle there was good for 15 ticks. This little move here took you down to 39.30. That's exactly 10 ticks. So there's a trade. You get back above the trigger. There's another trade. You get back above the trigger, and there's a trade that is worth over $1,000 per contract. Every $1 move in crude pays you or costs you, depending upon if you're on the profitable side of the trade, $1,000. We don't risk that much on any one individual trade. In the live trading room, we only risk 8 ticks on a crude trade. On a bigger picture trade like this, again, we will risk what the market tells us we need to risk. Now, once I teach you how to read that, you're going to get a grin that just won't go away, because it's what you've been waiting for. It's what you've been looking for. It's what you've been hoping for. Enough pie in the sky, enough of all that, flash and trash. This is finally something that you can actually learn how to do. You develop a skill set, you deploy it each and every day, and guess what? It's a beautiful thing. Late in the afternoon, I guess actually about noontime, price comes up and drops down to a swing low of 39.06. So that would be 34 points or 34 ticks or $340 per contract. So just a multitude of opportunities in crude based on the Concierge Trade Alert for Thursday. Okay, in Q, buy 44.01, sell 43.82. Okay, in Q, there you are. Here's what we got. If you sell 43.82, you need 5 points. If you're just an NQ trader, that's what I do for a living. I trade the NQ, and you're working the blueprint. You need to make 5 points at $20 a point. There's 4 ticks to a point. Each tick pays $5. $20 a point times 5 points. There's your $100. This move was 17 points. This move was 7 points. As you see, price gets above the trigger, and down it goes, and there's 9 points. So 17, 7, and 9. And look at what a great job the NQ did of playing off the zones last week. From 43.95 to 44.10. That's a 15-point move. Remember, 5 points is all you need for the day. But we had 15, 30, 45. And that happened between 9:30, 10:30. and 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay, it's 15, 30, 45. All right. Okay, let's take one more look here at the NQ and see if there's anything to the upside. 43.82. Did we trigger there? Wait a minute. No. NQ, did we buy 44.01? Swing high was exactly 44.01, the final tick of the day, 44.01. So you would not be placing an order that late in the day. So you don't have to worry. You're okay there. All right, now coming after the NQ is gold. Gold, we're looking to buy 12.20, and we're looking to sell 12.14. So let's take a look. Let's see what happened to gold. Let's attempt to see what happened to gold. Try that one more time. It's thinking about it. The servers are actually down at the moment at Daniels. They're doing some work. So I had some data preloaded, which was a good thing. That allowed us to get this much of the recap done. So we're thankful for that. But we may have reached our limit here because it doesn't seem to be giving me let's try it one more time. Oh, aha, there it is. Okay, so the first move on gold was a stop out. The Concierge trade alert emailed out Wednesday night, said to buy 12.20. Okay, stop out. It also said sell 12.14. That made $280 per contract available. Then we had a 42 tick move, $420 per contract, a 36 tick move, $360 per contract, and a 34 tick move, $340 per contract. So was gold good to us? Yeah, you gotta just smile and go, that was nice. Okay, is there anything else that we haven't covered? Yes, bonds. Let's take a quick peek at the bonds. The trade alert said to buy 163.26, and we ran up 16 ticks. Bonds pay 31.25 per tick. Now, we never get out at the exact swing high or the exact swing low. That's just not part of our strategy. What we take is a bite out of the middle. So keep in mind, if you come hang your hat with us, you're never going to buy a low, you're never going to sell a high, you're going to take a bite out of the middle. Now, here's bonds where we bought 162.11, and as we ran up, the market made $1,000 per contract available. Okay, now that was back on Wednesday, but it's just so beautiful. I couldn't not show it to you. In fact, I want to show you this also. Let me entertain you for one moment. Indicators, CFRN, CFRN. When you enter our mentoring program, you own the indicator set for life. Okay? Now, in this parabolic move up, $1,000 per contract, this little doji might have, said, hey, maybe it's time to head for the door. I just picked up $1,000 per contract. When the step line gets below the CFMA1, okay, and you get a red candle, remember we're long, green and blue represent bullish, red bearish. So when we get a bearish close below the step line, which would actually be this candle right here, you would exit on the close at 163.09. Now, the swing high was 163.19. Does that mean you left 10 ticks on the table? Yes. but you made. As long as all you had to do was stay in the trade. Once you got triggered in, you didn't have to do anything except be patient and let the market do the work. In his book, Mark Douglas, in his book, Trading in the Zone, Mark Douglas, may he rest in peace, wrote about effortless trades. We want all of our trades to be effortless, but, well, that's just not reality, okay? So when we do have effortless trades, we certainly want to take advantage of those to the very best of our ability. The only market we haven't looked at is soybeans. And soybeans, I thought I had a different chart for beans, but I guess not. Soybeans, let's see what we got. Soybeans, ZSK by 906. All right. Here's 906 right here. And you can see the swing high was almost 912. Okay, so from 906 even up to 911, that is 5 cents. Okay, now soybeans, like the S&P, pay $50 per point. So that's $250 per contract for this move. Yeah? Not bad, huh? Okay, so the final trading day of the week was fantastic. The markets have been so kind to us this year. We did well in the S&P, well in the Dow, well in the Russell, well in crude, well in the NQ, well in bonds, well in crude oil. It was just nice, nice, and more nice. What did we do to earn such grace in our life? Absolutely nothing, man. There's nothing you can do to earn God's grace. You can accept his grace. It's a free gift. You can accept his forgiveness for whatever wrongs you've committed against yourself, society, or even him. This day, this Good Friday, I pray that you'll take a few moments to quietly contemplate Calvary, what it really means, why he did what he did, because he loves you, because he cares for you, because he wants to spend eternity with you. No, I'm not going to hold an altar call, but if you don't have a personal relationship with the creator of the universe, did you know you can? Did you know that it's possible? What better time than right now to have a little talk with him? I don't believe in magic spells and incantations. I don't believe in telling you to recite after me these words and your eternal fate is forever sealed. No, I think it runs a little deeper than that. It has to do with a broken and contrite spirit. It has to do with a spirit of repentance. And it has to do with a heart change. Something inside of you changes. And it is tangible, it is palpable, it is real. It's not made up. It's not some visiting evangelist who pushes real hard on your forehead while he puts his hand in the small of your back and tries to knock you down by the power of the Holy Spirit. That's as scandalous as some of the stuff that goes on in the world of trading. Doesn't matter what business industry you're in, even religion is filled with people whose motives, they just got off track somehow. Hey, but the good news is they can recognize the error of their ways and ask forgiveness. That's the beautiful thing about having a personal relationship with the Creator, is when you err, you'll know you've erred. You'll know, okay? Condemnation and conviction are two different things. When you feel convicted in your spirit that something is not well with your soul, okay, that's God's grace by the power of the Holy Spirit speaking to you, telling you to fix it. Ask forgiveness and then repent. Repent means to turn and go the other direction. You know, so many times we read in the New Testament as Jesus was out amongst the people, teaching and preaching and praying and healing. Often he said to those who he healed, not, lucky you, I'm the Son of God, and because I touch you real, hard on your forehead and make you fall down, you're healed. No, he said, your faith has made you whole. Go and sin no more. Now, I believe what he's saying is don't keep doing the same thing, because we're all gonna, we're all gonna break some commandment, some rule, something that we know is not right. It can be a little white lie, Is that like being a little pregnant? Can you be a little pregnant? You're either pregnant or you're not. You either told a lie or you didn't. So, then there's the argument, well, I lied because I didn't want to make the person feel bad. You know, does this dress make me look fat? Oh, dear. No. What are you going to say? Yeah. I mean, you try to be creative. Well, honey, why don't we see if we can pick something else out? I've been married. I've survived 33 years of marriage. I say that jokingly. I'm blessed to have been married for 33 years. I'm blessed to have found a woman that would put up with me for 33 years, who would encourage me, champion me, stand beside me. She's seen the best of me, and she's seen the worst of me. And she still loves me. And no matter what you've done, he still loves you. And he wants to be in relationship with you. He wants to walk in the cool of the garden with you. I encourage you. Give him a chance. What do you got to lose? Happy Easter. Take care.